And we're back for another Gab with Abigail. If you aren't back and this is your first time on my channel, hi, welcome to Gabs with Abigail, where we talk about the Bates and Duggars and other D-list fundies. As you can see from today's thumbnail, we are catching up with a couple of our fave D-list fundies, so let's go ahead and get right into the video. I tried to write a script for this. I have notes. I just kind of feel like I don't looking at them. So I'm just going to talk and hope that this doesn't turn into an hour-long video that I have to then edit down to 20 minutes, which I can never do. So let's get into it. First family that we're going to talk about today, I'm convinced that I'm like psychic just a little bit. Like this whole video, I'm like Dave and Sil, then the Rodriguezes, like, your girl knew. I feel like I was even like a little bit right about Mrs. Midwest. Like, I knew that Priscilla must be pregnant. Like, I knew it was just time. It was overdue. Like, all of her kids are born very close together. It's clear that the Kellers are fertile, so not using any birth control. While Anna is getting ready to have baby number 7, Priscilla is getting ready to have baby number 6. So they've already also announced the gender, because that's how far along she is at this point, and it is a girl, which I think is interesting that she's basically gone boy, girl, boy, and now again girl. I just think it's interesting, like, because when does that really ever happen? You know, congrats to them on the new baby. The baby is going to be due late January, early February, so you know what that means, kiddos. It's an Aquarius. Shout out to the gang, okay? Another Aquarius. Carlin Bates' daughter is also an Aquarius, actually born on my birthday. So big ups to them, big ups to the Aquarius gang. There actually really isn't a lot of Aquariuses within everybody. There really aren't that many Aquariuses. It's only, I think, Michael is the only one, and then Layla was born, and now shout outs. I guess haven't really gone through like the D-list fundies to really say that, but like I said, now David and Sil, shout out to the gang. Big air sign energy in this bitch, okay? What I hope is that, why it matters to me, I hope that the rebellious spirit, the artistic side of being an Aquarius shines through, pushes through all of the fundy BS, okay? And that the rebellious spirit of the sign lives on, and that young Layla and little whatever D baby this is going to be named, because they name all of the girls D names for Priscilla and David. I pray that these are two little girls who are going to reject classism, racism, sexism, and all the other bad isms that we don't want. Yeah. So that's new with that. Like I said, everybody is pregnant. Moving on to the Rodriguezes.
Episode 68 of Make Your Life Count Minute with Jill. I want to talk today about the phrase self-righteous. We hear that. It's all the buzz in our world. Oh, those people are self-righteous. If you have any kind of standard that you stand on based upon the word of God, you're self-righteous. I was talking to my husband about that, and I was a little discouraged because I'm like, if it's wrong to take a stand on things and people always deem it as self-righteous, then you know, it's confusing, and Satan is the author of confusion. And my husband reminded me, he said, let's just take off self and let's just be righteous. You know, so many times people will pin it on that because they want it to seem like there's guilt there, that you're self-righteous, and it justifies their sin. But let's take off the self and let's be reminded that God is righteous and God is holy.
Okay, the only person who's not pregnant, Jill Rodriguez. Thank the Lord. No offense. Like, I know that might be rude to say, but it's like, babe, you don't need any more kids. You don't. This isn't the season of your life that God needs you to be in. Let's focus on your kids that you've got right now still. Anyways, what the real news and update about the Rodriguezes is Kaylee Rodriguez, resident bad bitch of the Rodriguez family, okay, Tessie's up next though, coming for the crown, is that Kaylee is in a courtship. Didn't I say it? Didn't I call it? With some kid named Jonathan. Like, yes, girl, big ups to you. We love to see it. Just because she really is so, gorgeous. And I'm happy that she's in a courtship. I just am kind of terrified about how fast the trajectory of this relationship is. The fact that they've written in the church, okay, the date, and that this is the start of their courtship, and then also in that The Rodriguezes are like building a living room, and Jonathan helped to do a door in there and wrote also again that Jonathan Hill was here helping to on the date of my courtship start out, like it just it's a lot of pressure in the fact that like now these are permanent things that are kind of like listed there. So it's, we're on the fast track, we can see, for another Rodriguez wedding, which just I don't know, like these are people who don't believe in dating and playing the field or whatever. And it's not to say that necessarily I'm saying that Kaylee needs to play the field. It's just that, Jonathan, you're a lucky guy because this is a gorgeous girl. And she looks like, from what we see on the internet, she seems like she's very like the sweet and soft sister compared to Nuri and Renee. Renee seems like the spicy sister, and I like that for her. As spicy as you can be in this kind of world, right? She just seems like she's more of a little bit more bossy and assertive compared to Kaylee. Let's get back to Jonathan. I honestly think he's pretty cute. He's got a terrible haircut. I hate his haircut. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, I just feel like he's really actually an attractive guy. And just like he could be actually like a hottie if he dressed better and had a better hairstyle. But these are young kids. I think he's 21, or I think he might be 21. Kaylee's 20. So really these are all people who really haven't even 100% like grown into your face yet. So hopefully he's going to get there. But as we can see, is the track record for funnies, looking good in clothes isn't that much. I might maybe send him a wisdom booklet that tells people, the one that explains how you should look nice, because you know what? Spot on. If we're going to get conservative, at least let's look nice, all right? So Jill posted these after I recorded this, and I just really want to know why, like, what in the Christian thirst trap is this? Like, I was a little turned on. I was a little aroused. I actually felt like I was being defrauded. Like I was having desires that couldn't be righteously fulfilled stirred up. Am I outrageously maybe horny at the time that this was first watched by me? Maybe. But it's still inappropriate. Like, especially like she zoomed in on how much he was bench pressing. Like, he can bench press Kaylee. But I think he's cute. I hope it all works out. Now, I'm glad that, Kaylee wanted to like get married and live on a farm. And that's something she's seemingly achieving in this relationship. However, I will say that I did want better than Mississippi for Kaylee, and that's no shade to the state of Mississippi, but in terms of like the personal growth and development that I would love to see for these girls, it kind of sucks that one went to Florida and the other has gone to Mississippi. Like, damn, can we get somebody in maybe, I don't know, just somewhere that's a little bit less aggressively red? How about that? Okay. And why I say that is just because, I don't know, the big difference I would say between the Rodriguezes and the Duggars, right, is that the Rodriguezes care, I feel like, less about money. And yes, it's important to like them to be able, it's important that you have money that can be able to support and sustain a family. But the fact remains that they don't care about it as aggressively, I would feel like, as like the Bates and the Duggars do. And why I would say aggressively as the Bates and the Duggars do, when we look at the Bates, particularly Josie, Carlin, Katie, Alyssa, like they really do live kind of more of a upper middle class life, and like how they dress, what they buy. And I feel like it's not about material possessions at all, but I do feel like Kaylee, Nuri, Renee, all of these little girls, but all of these girls deserve those creature comforts. I don't know, as somebody who also does not believe in the prosperity gospel, I don't want to say that either, but I just feel like I want to say you're worthy of things, period. You deserve to be able to buy new clothes and have a husband who can afford to buy you new clothes. Is at the end of the world that you go thrift shopping and save money that way? Absolutely not. Should you be going into debt buying new stuff? Absolutely not. Am I somebody who buys thrifted stuff? Every single one of these records that's behind me is thrifted, okay? There's other things in my house that I could point out is also thrifted, or that these jeans that I'm wearing are thrifted. So it's definitely, that's not to say that it's the end of the world, but I feel I kind of want more for you. I don't know, just I feel like growing up poor, I just feel like I want better than Water Valley, Mississippi for you, Kaylee. Like farming somewhere else. And why I say that is just Mississippi is the poorest state in America. Like 35% of the population in Water Valley, Mississippi lives at or below the poverty line. And I just, life you're not supposed to be repeating the cycles of poverty. But it's true for most people, it's really hard to move out of your tax bracket that you were born into. That is the reality of life. So that's why we see the Duggars continue to kind of live the same lifestyle and level of maintenance that they lived as children. Majority do. No matter what you want to say, majority do. They're financially comfortable. The same goes for the Bates, but again, for many of the Bates, they've really have leveled up financially. So that's just kind of what I want for the Rodriguez kids. I think they're deserving of that, I think they're worthy of that. Even just how all of the ways that, like, the Rodriguezes describe Jonathan, this idea of like, oh, he has the same values as us, which is just annoying how they're just really have brainwashed and trapped their kids into this. And why I say that is because the Duggars and the Bates really do at least emphasize, at the end of the day, we have given you the foundation. What you do after that is completely up to you. And we're still going to love you anyways. What's most important is that you love God and that you love the Lord. And that's something that is a major part of your life. But we're not going to ostracize you for deciding to wear pants. It's not going to be the end of the world. And if that's something like you and your husband decide on how you're reading the Bible, that's how you're convicted. And y'all know I hate the convicted word. I hate the C word. But if that's how you feel convicted, then that's fine, because we've raised you right. And the Rodriguezes don't have that same energy at all. It's really more so if you stray at all from this, we haven't done it right. Their most recent posts were there with Jonathan handing out Bible tracts. It's like, our kids wanted to do this. I'm so sick of Jill saying, our kids wanted to do this. They chose this by themselves. Well, duh. Like, if there's apples on the table, okay, and kiwis, and I've only ever had apples, and I keep hearing bad things about kiwis. Kiwis are bad for you. The seeds are gross. They're hairy. They're nasty. What am I going to choose? And I'm watching you eat an apple, all right? And you're basically saying you're not going to hang around or talk to anybody who eats kiwis. I'm probably going to choose the apple, right? So I'm just kind of I'm so sick of that from Jill. Let's actually read the description that she gave of Jonathan, honestly, because it gets weird. It keeps getting weird. So I feel like what mostly bothers me about this post is that it's not really the post, but it's the fact that when Kaylee and Jonathan are doing their courtship announcement like video, they say the same exact things, and it's just kind of like it's weird.
My name is Jonathan Hill, and I am extremely excited to announce that Kaylee and I are officially courting. She is such a blessing in my life. She has such a heart for the Lord, and you can tell in the way she carries herself.
Yes. I'm thrilled to be courting Jonathan as well, and he is such a blessing to me. We've been getting to know each other since this past spring, and an amazing journey with Jonathan, and he has such a love for the Lord, and our families have so much in common because he's like 13 children, and I'm also from a family of 13 children. There's 9 boys in his family and 4 girls. Then there's 9 girls in our family, 4 boys, so we have a lot in common.
Yes.
Yeah, but I'm thankful for Jonathan's heart for the Lord most of all. He just truly has such a Lord, and all of his beliefs line up with our beliefs, which I'm truly just so thankful for. Jonathan's just been such a blessing to me.
Yes, we are so excited for you both. So how long have you been getting to know each other for?
Since last spring.
Yes, you're both such a blessing. We just love that God is doing a mighty work in both of your lives. And we're excited to see what the future holds, for sure.
Jonathan also got me these beautiful flowers.
So pretty. Here, turn them around. So gorgeous.
Like, it's weird, you know what I mean? It's so unintimate in a way. I don't even know if that's the right word, because obviously these are people who are purposefully restraining from intimacy, which again, I also kind of think sucks at, and is really a key difference when we're talking about this rigid control. That's why I'm so sick of Jill telling us that these are choices that the kids are making naturally for themselves, where like at least the Duggar kids got to set their own standards, right? So, and the Bates got to set their own standards for courtship. So where some of the Bates before marriage, though majority didn't. Whereas the Duggars, some of them did hold hands before engagement, though I think, again, the majority didn't. And all at this point of the Duggars have saved their first kiss. I don't even really think the saving the first kiss thing until marriage is that big of a deal. Whatever, if you want to do it, that's your choice. If you feel like that's something that you want to do, again, it's not necessarily really biblical, right? We know that. But if that's something you want to do and that makes your relationship special and sweet and feel like a closer experience and bond, fantastic. That's up to you. But like not holding each other's hands, I get it, this idea that we want to get to know each other before we add intimacy. God knows that if I can speak to my relationship, I feel like I should be doing that. But I do think it's weird to like not hold hands before you get engaged and stuff like that. I think I know and can recall what it feels like to like just want to the kind of like the sexual tension and energy that can read off of somebody when you guys just like each other without you having to hold hands, without you having to kiss and anything like that. I mean, I think majority of our childhood of crushes start that way, right? Those feelings feel good, and then you talk to the person and get to know them and see if it can work. But I don't know, just there's nothing, it's not the end of the world if you're holding somebody's hands. I mean, you're doing something as official as doing courtship. You've already given this person a piece of your heart, right? Because you've already decided that you feel like this is something that is going to lead to marriage. So what's the big deal to hold hands and to say that this is something that we do? Like to not, I can even understand not wanting to hug, the front forward hug things. Like I said, just like that sexual tension, boobs touching, you know, your boo-boon and his privates touching, you know, I get it. I totally get it. But it's just a bit much because like all of their pictures just look so awkward. Like they're trying not to touch. Like it's weird. Like I don't know, it's a little bit uncomfortable. But I'm really happy for Kaylee. Like I said, beautiful girl, deserving of beautiful things, deserving of a beautiful life. And and while it does suck that we know we're just going to get more of this kind of like toxic, conservative, evangelical lifestyle, whatever, bro. Yeah. I think I don't know if I talked about how the Rodriguezes are building a living room. Finally, for the longest time I was looking at their house like, yeah, it looks like there's no living room in here. And there isn't, because when they had their New Year's Eve like little get-together photos that we saw, they didn't, all of the kids were like in the parents' room, and when you just kind of like look around the house, it never looks like they're sitting anywhere except for like the kitchen table and stuff. And then I guess they have a couple couches in like their printer garage. I'm happy that they're getting a living room. That's cool. Big ups to them. That's pretty much it, I think, for the Rodriguezes. We're still waiting for Nuri's baby. At the point that this video comes out, she should be like 36, 37 weeks, which is considered full term. So really happy for her having a full term baby. Still many more prayers for a safe delivery, healthy baby, healthy postpartum experience. Mrs. Midwest, who I continue to get hate comments on that video about like, oh my God, this week it was a black person. I love it when it's black women. I think I love when it's black women who come in and shade me. Like, for what, sis? For what? Why? Like, it's weird that you love Candace Owens so much that instead of going to kiss her ass, you felt like you needed to come and like spit in my butthole. I might be into that kind of thing. That's again why I said I think I'm psychic, because literally I think a week, maybe 3 days or something like that after I put out my Where in the World is Mrs. Midwest video, she was announcing that she was posting a new video talking about where she's been. Which at the time that she put out that video, she knew she was pregnant with this baby and didn't say anything.
Recently, that she hasn't been posting so much on Instagram either because she has a lot going on in her personal life. And I have such a hard time believing that she has anything difficult that could be going on in her personal life, because everything is cheerful, everything is delightful, Disney princess energy. So I think it's interesting, like she's going to be sharing in a couple days what's been going on in her personal life. So I'm interested to see what that is that she's saying has been going on in her personal life, because why I can't think it's anything deeper than that is that
mimicked him on. He has consistently denied what is a very clear fact that.
So Mrs. Midwest actually just announced that she is pregnant with baby number 2 already. She's having some Irish twins, y'all. And that's no shade. Is that an offensive term? Tell me. My sister has Irish twins. I love that. But Mrs. Midwest did a video talking about how her second pregnancy, it was really dramatic. I guess she at first thought she was miscarrying, and it turned out to be like a hematoma, if that's how you say it. congrats to her, really living that quiverful lifestyle. Which I didn't think was going to be her thing, but I feel like it's not surprising to me that she wasn't on birth control. She literally, like, 3-month infant is pregnant. Like I said, like, really living that quiverful lifestyle. Yeah, which I have never gotten the vibe that she's somebody who believes in quiverful and that she probably would have waited and is trying to plan her children. And it's another boy, which for my last video, like, we really don't need it. We really don't need any more of these kinds. She's going to be in for a challenge in the upcoming months. But again, this is somebody who has a lot of support, encouragement. So she'll be fine. It's going to be the adventure of a lifetime for her. It's going to be difficult. It's not going to be easy to have a 1-year-old and a newborn. It's not going to be easy at all. But it's exciting. The most interesting part of that video, where she talks about how she's been keeping a secret by being pregnant with baby number 2, is the fact that one of the things that she was assigned, like, was told by the doctors when she was trying to, like, shrink the hematoma, is that she couldn't put any, like, aggressive pressure on her pelvis, meaning basically, which is like a fancy way of saying, like, you can't have sex. The way, like, she said it, I'll insert it, I just thought that was so funny, like, because especially there's that, like, old Reddit post where she was like, her and her husband are crazy in bed. I think it's interesting that it sounds like the fact how soon she got pregnant, that y'all basically started having sex almost as soon as the doctors gave the okay to go ahead and have sex, which is interesting. That's really all I feel like I have to say about that. Really, all of the trad wives are pregnant right now. So Mrs. Midwest is pregnant. There's that girl Brooklyn, whatever her name is. It's Brooklyn. I'm sorry. She's pregnant. She was the first that's pregnant. That baby should be due soon, I think, if not already soon. And then our fave trad wife after Mrs. Midwest is Miss Soli Oli Oxenfree. Yes, is also pregnant with baby number 2. I could talk about that. Yeah, I'm not surprised that she's pregnant. They've been trying for a baby. Congrats to them on baby number 2. I have another video that I'm going to do about Soli and Andre reacting to a live that they did. So be on the lookout for that. But that's it for me, guys. That's it for this little quick catch up. If there's anything that you think I forgot or that we should discuss, leave me a comment. And were you surprised about Kaylee's courtship? Are you surprised that Mrs. Midwest is pregnant again? And yeah, thanks for watching.
It's like you niggas gotta stop acting